Good evening, gentlemen. Welcome to the Bottom Line Liberia. Jamal,
Yeah,
good evening.
thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you, Paul. Thank for having me once again. I've been away for a week. I love it to be back on the borderline. And wherever you join us, you're welcome to the borderline from Central Europe. And also we thought tonight, I think we'll have a brother from the United States, a special guest, calling guest co-host, Mr. Albert Moe. Mr. Moe,
Thank you.
we still need
Mr.
to use
Morales,
adjust
your
your
name,
mic.
please.
Yeah, sorry, your camera, sir.
Oh,
Yes, sir. Thank you.
I'm a hooker.
Yeah, I think we see you. He's
So,
why he's
what Mr. Moore is setting, we just play a quick news interlude. Little bit.
You're watching the review of Liberian newspapers' headlines that made news during the week on the Bottom Line Liberia. Please join us every Tuesday and Friday at 7 p.m. Liberian time, 8 p.m. UK time, 9 Central European time.
Right, once again, thank you very much for joining us where we're joining us from. Today, we'll be reviewing most of our major newspaper headline in Liberia tonight with the Observers, the independent newspaper, as well as analysts and the front page. We're getting the New Republic as well. Paul. Oh, that's an interesting story in the newspaper now. It is making headlines in Liberia, Paul. So, where are you taking us from? From which direction are you taking us through, Paul?
Well, okay, thanks, Jamal, and welcome to everybody, our viewers that are following on for the first time. This is the Lord Cholope, who is residing in the great city of London, the friend of King Charles, the King of the United Kingdom. What we're going to do, we'll look at the front page newspaper first. A very interesting article within the front page newspaper. And then before we get to that, I just want to remind ourselves of what have happened before the president took over. Just a reminder of what he said. And then we can look at the 6 months of his government. And then we'll get into the front page Africa. So to start the program, I just want to kickstart with this one here.
Where are the clinics? Where are the schools?
Let me put this on pause. This is the president had an interview with the BBC before he took office. So I just want our audience to listen today. It's quite interesting.
Look at Liberia today. Where are the clinics? Where are the schools? Where are the streets? Where are the roads? Not because we couldn't build them, but the monies have been diverted to individuals. And what are these individuals? They go outside the country, they buy houses, but the country that they make the money from, they are afraid to use the money there. So they go out, they forget that there are hundreds of children here that are not going to school. There are no medical. I have a very close friend now who is sick in Foya. He could have been brought here by helicopter, but where are they? Corruption is a poison. Whatever it touches, it destroys. It deprives people from having good roads. It deprives others from having good medical facilities. You're always wishing to go elsewhere when you can have it right here. That's what corruption does. It destroys a nation. It makes people become disrespected because people think we are a country living on handout when we shouldn't be.
Right. So this little clip was done. It was an interview done on the BBC. It's just to remind us all that there were good things said in that interview. And 6 months down the line, all of those beautiful things that were said, corruption was one of the key in that interview. But in 6 months, we found out there was a report on Transparency International that $22.4 million road rehabilitation project, something went wrong. And we found out that the Council of Churches last week in our podcast came up asking the government to do an audit on that. So with all that beautiful thing in less than 6 months, and the key issue that was corruption have been talked about in that interview. So I just wanted for us to look at what has happened in less than 6 months with beautiful things the president said and where we heading now. So I just want you guys to chat me before we get into the news report activity. I will start with you, Jamal.
Yeah, thank you very much, Paul. Thank you very much. It's a rocky start, like anybody can put it for Liberia right now. The leadership may have a tough time to start off. And when you one thing you also know, now in Liberia, Paul, politicians make a lot of promises before they get into the game. These are campaign promises, and they make you feel good. They have to say something nice before they start, but you will know until you get into the room. You know that the room is hot, and this is what's happening right now. Mr. President may have said, Mr. Barker may have said a lot of stuff, and he's not the only one. It happens everywhere. I just said that, and you can make sure that before you get there, at least will be surprising for me. He was there for 12 years, so you may have a good idea how it will look like. How it looks like when you get into the seat, because he was on the side. Now you get to the proper seat. Now he knows that there was going to be some challenges to deal with. So there will be nothing surprising for him. I don't think that he will be like, okay, let's give him more chance to see how you start off. But for now, I think we stay. For me, I still think it's too early to grade them because we're not even a year yet. And when he may have inherited a lot of rubbish from the past leadership, a lot of hurdles he has to overcome. And we still be a little bit sympathetic for him to see how we're going to measure him. Because measurement, you talk about indicators, you got to look at a lot of things. We talk about how far he's going as a government. This is how I look at it from the first start. He said that, and I think they're making some gains so far.
Okay. Welcome, Francis, and welcome, Albert. Francis, you just listened to the clip. Welcome on board, my brother. It's good to see you again.
Yes, it's always a pleasure, man. I am interacting with such a brilliant team of panelists here. Though we have diverse views, but it's always interesting. I mean, it's knowledge centric, and with a lot of things learned from here. So I hope that we'll have a very fruitful discussion today.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Comrade Moore.
Yes.
Welcome to the bottom line again. Another fascinating discussion tonight. You just listened to that 3-minute clip. What's your take on this?
Well, politically, these areas of leadership, politics is a science. It's scientific. So I feel anyone who has misled the public should be held accountable, because you have to study, you have to know that science of leadership, leading a country and making up its economy, its economic activities. All of these things, those who know the social science area, they will tell you the social sciences, the social, economic, and political studies of a society. You have to know them holistically. You can't jump into it and make unprepared, unstudied, unguided statement when the contract is given to you, then you have no way to start it. When you say corruption is wrong, then you will know how to do right. How to do right. So, for example, corruption eats of the fabric of a nation, as the president was saying during his pre-presidential days or months. Now, a corruption eats up the fabric of society. He causes disrespect in society, either your own people, friends against friends, the public against leadership, another country overlooking you, then we look at how the government is being operating from day one. First thing, the national money to have hosted the inauguration in the capital of the Republic of Liberia as constitutionally as it has been. The political party that took the contract from the Liberian people stole that inauguration money and divided it among the operational headquarters as they want to prove it. The money was not given to the National Committee to execute the program to the taste of the Liberian public. So that one. Now, there are many. For example, the president instructed to suspend or instructed for people to take over the tender positions. He put it on sale without knowing the law that governed the tendership in Liberia. He was 12 years a vice president. Most of the tender positions were created in his presence. And he was present in Liberia, criticizing the U.S. government. So he knew what was tender position. When the Supreme Court intervened and stopped his administration from doing that because it was against the law, he intentionally ignored the Supreme Court ruling, and he created another unfavorable condition, unlawful, unwise decision, and suspended those holding tender positions that they should be audited in their absence. The enter office, they should be audited while they are outside of it. Now tell me, nobody on an general auditing principle does not call for that. You audit a man in office and you tell him that you put a question. For example, Mr. Chorope, $2.5 million was spent from July to August. No description here, so how the money was spent. If Mr. Chorope cannot tell you what that money was spent for, he cannot provide a voucher number that described the usage of that money, then there is problem. But the people were spending.
You need a college show, so let's limit the time. Yeah.
Before they will be audited. So all the round of all of these are wrong. So for Mr. Boaka now to come up to be on the opposite side of what he said, it is unfair to the Liberian people. I think he need to wait.
It is unfair, according to Francis and Jamal. Some of us say we need to give them more time. Francis, you want to?
Yeah, definitely. I want to chime in. I want to give my view on the tape and the article. If you read the article summarizes.
Come to the article, yeah, it's just that little tip.
Oh, the tip. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the tip says, there was elections, it was campaigning, and the president said what he's supposed to have said during the period of time at that time. So we can now hold him accountable for what happened and what he said there. He said what was actually obtained on the ground. It was very basic facts. So that we should draw the line, draw the parallel between what he said that was obtained at the time, and as compared to his takeover or what he met on as a incoming president.
Great. Okay, thank you, Jamal. I think we just go straight into the article that was published by Front Page Africa. You want to put it up, and then we can get into the discussion. You want to read this?
Yeah, you said they had a rocky start takeover. So probably it's a question mark. Do they have a rocky takeover? Rocky takeover? That's a question mark there. So it is probably, if you did read this paper, there must be a reason why it's saying. I mean, the journalist put this in a question mark. It's a rocky takeover. Was it something like the shaking? So they find a way to land. It's a plane trying to land. Is they find a way to find the gear, landing gear, and they may have some issues how to take off. I mean, or to land. One of them. How do you take off or how to land? So Paul, probably you have some detail on this on this newspaper, but you may have some background information for our listeners and those who are also watching us. So tell us what the story is about, so we can also give our input on it.
Thank you, Jamal. This was the launch for the arrest agenda at the Eddie Johnson ministerial complex. So it was done on Thursday, where President Burka formally launched the process of crafting the arrest agenda. So they now decided to craft the arrest agenda. So it was also appealing to his critics, that people that sympathize with him, with his administration starting late. So it's almost thing like similar thing that George Weah did, the pro agenda. They came to power before they went and crafted the PDPA, something they call their proper agenda name. But this one is a new one. Is now they now crafting the arrest agenda. So it's going to be called, instead of arrest, that the one way is going to be called arrest agenda for inclusive development. So it's now they're putting the ideas together, they're formulating this new thing that will run with for the next 5 years. So that's the headline. That's why they say rocky takeover, because of with experience, they should have been ready from day one. So 6 months into government now, they're now crafting the whole arrest policy that will run with. So that's the story. I don't know if you guys want to chime in. I'll let Francis wanted to talk about this, so we'll start with Francis, and then Jamal, you can follow.
Yeah, first of all, this is not crafting. They're launching the arrest, and they added some payloads into that whole program, like what you said. You call it the AAID. That is an extension to the pillar of the arrest agenda. What you call it, they have the public sector investment program as well, and they have the 15 County Development Agenda (CDA) with attached to that arrest agenda. So it was being launched as stated at the Eddie Johnson ministerial complex, and have people from the United Nations and have dignitaries at the program. And the president said, I think the article we said the headline a little bit sensational, and the president stated that people are not in sympathy with them, or because they did not know, or they do not know what they inherited. So he says that so it's $2 billion right now because of what they inherited, and they are in full gear to ensure that the arrest agenda will help uplift Liberian lives, and create enable environment for investors. Yeah, so I'll stop there for now and allow me other
So let me have your 2 minutes on there before Jamal come in, please.
2 minutes?
Yes, please.
2 minutes quite enough. the Queen language has what they call connotative meaning. You know how to structure the language, the headline alone tells you exactly why it is. He said, Rocky take over with a question mark. So the question mark is to the leadership of President Waka to answer to the public and his commitment, his pronouncement. Were he not prepared when he took over the country? That's why the journalist is trying to question.
No, I mean, the thing has nothing to do with taking over. It's a rocket start. It doesn't. It has nothing to do with preparedness of taking over. It's clear that I mean, according to the quantitative, contextual interpretation of a rocket take over. I mean, you're taking over something.
It's a question mark.
Wait, Francis, if you have a rebuttal, let our finish and then you come in.
Let me land.
Yeah, go ahead.
It is indeed a political language. Yes, indeed. The question is, rocket take over? So Waka had to answer. I would say yes, they were not prepared when they said these things. They didn't know why it meant to run a country. So they said it now after 7 months, I would say, because you won the election November 14th. So all your agendas were being unprepared because you were a contractor. You go into the building, you are one they built. So you want to change the document that you agree that you presented to the owner to take over the building of the road. So it is a rocket takeover because they were not prepared. They didn't use a word. They didn't know how you're going to be used in Liberia, how you're going to apply politically, economically, and socially among the Liberian people. So that's where we are. It was indeed an unprepared takeover.
Right. So Francis, come in before we go to Jamal. You want to say something?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, my understanding of this headline, which says Rocky take over. If Rocky, I mean, they play even turbulence. So when you take over something, and you have a lot of setbacks along the way, because what was turned over to you is the actual inheritance is not what you expected. What the people said that they turned over. I mean, let me give you a classic example. When they took the president, Ria was giving his speech, he said he left X amount of millions of dollars into the account, into the consolidated account. And then when the President Boga came over, President Boga gave another version. And so that's a classic example of the instability in terms of governance. What was actually left there and what was expected are two different things in the reality. So this can surmise that it was a rocket takeover.
Right. So Jamal, you have listened. You listened to the two views from the floor. So from your own understanding, what is your take on this?
I think one thing I like about journalists, the craft to word the way they like it. I think also you can put the way you want to put it, and this caption here is relative. You can describe it as you want it. Like my two colleagues on the platform have put it in the way they want to look at it. And I think if you did read the story, the AAID, which is the new nomenclature or the new name for the arrest, will tell you that the president is going back to the ballroom to redirect the wheels. It's not what it was. So it definitely tells you they were not prepared. That's straight put to the point. Because if you were in opposition and you've been working there for 12 years, you should have some plan in action. Now, they have come back to understand that, knowing the kind of dismal performance by the past presidents, leadership, will tell you that you need to prepare before you get to take over. So it was no joke. It's not making political rhetorics or being political gimmicks. If you come to take over the or leadership of Liberia, state of Liberia, you know they're going to have some challenges. So going back to redirect the wheels of the agenda tells you that this is not what they expected. So we need to understand that it's a rocky start takeover. They were not prepared. And one thing you should also understand, Paul, gentlemen in this forum or on the platform tonight, the leadership has too many immature ministers. I mean, immature enough. I mean, experience-wise, look at the leaders from the top minister to the last to how many ministers they have. Many of these ministers that they have never worked as a proper minister, run the ministry for over years. They may have some able and educated or not educated, sorry, qualified and experienced deputies around them. But then it has to do also with funding. This government has been crying with funding. If you see that they are pushing something called PPP, that is a private-public partnership, which most of countries like India, Pakistan, other countries are living on right now. If the government is pushing those modules or those agenda, it means that the government is struggling with money, funding to get in. Then what you depend on international funding, like humanitarian support. If you don't have your own catch or your own fund, you don't have any liquidity, you have to wait for somebody from come outside to work with you to invest into your country. So definitely it's a rocky start. Not even a question mark, it's a rocky takeover. Because if you have rearranged your arrest agenda to some like AA, like AARD, it means like the program you brought is not what it is. So they have to redirect the wheel to make sure to suit the agenda. So that's how it looks for me, from my end.
Right. I think let me say something here, because I listen to all of the views here, and this is quite good. I like the way some people put the question. Now, if Unity Party with its collaboration that have the arrest agenda, that means it's something that they crafted a long time. So from day one, they will run with it. So if you cannot run with it from day one, then I would agree with Abba and Jeremiah that is now they're trying to pull something together. But George Weah government did it. After they took over, before they came over, the pro agenda started crafting it. So it seemed nothing like this is happening. So they were not prepared from day one. And using the word experience, we are the most experienced people, well qualified to do this job compared to the incompetence of George Weah, who have not been in government before or to lead any big institution. We are most qualified to do this. And down, this is from CDC playbook. Get in office before you craft your policy to run on for 5 years. I think the newspaper spot on, because it is what it is. The truth is there. Is now they're going to put. In fact, they said they're formulating the ideas. It's now they're formulating the ideas to put this forward that it will run for 5 years. And with all of these things that are happening in the 6 months, that from one mistake to another mistake to another mistake, how long will it take to craft this document before it gets into full implementation? That's something I just want you guys to chime in for one more minute, then we'll move to the next segment. I will start with Albert.
Good. First, let me get a figure for the health area so we can get it down while we go to the next.
No, hold it. We're going to that center, please. Please hold it. Yeah, okay. Just 1 minute on this.
Okay, that conclude on this, right? Comparing the two slogans for development. Actually, the job we are government came to power before they pronounced our word propose. It was not in the campaign. Okay, so it was something they said the government would be in favor of the grassroots for development. So then they begin to build it up. These people with advanced team brought a program. When they were explaining the arrest during the campaign, as he was saying it in our clip, they explained how it was going to be to take the drug artists from the street and what have you. So what's happening here now is They are not realizing it to formulate a workable program. So indeed, it was a rocky takeover. Not prepared, but you got it.
I'm prepared. You got it. Friends here, Jamal, and then we'll move to the next segment.
Yes, look, every wise and experienced leader will go and optimize the strategy based upon what you inherited. You have to be judicious in that approach. You cannot come with a straitjacket approach and you say you want to solve the problems. The arrest agenda just align itself with what we just call here the AAID, the Agenda for Inclusive Development.
Yes.
Based upon the prevailing circumstances on the ground, the president and his team were very smart, very long, how you call it, far-sighted to create a room for this arrest agenda, to work, to be implemented. So he stretched out to public. I mean, Jamal said it, the public sector investment programs as well. And they had the 15 counties. So I mean, it's a rocket start. What they expected to be aligned and that was workable within the confines of the arrest agenda, they had to go back to re-strategize. I think that it shows a sign of maturity. It shows that this is a government hitting the ground running and they're adaptable. That's what you do.
Hitting the ground running and adaptable. Jamal, what say you before we move on to the next
Yeah,
segment?
last point of this, like we said, for me, it's no reason. There's nothing to worry. Nothing to complain about. Once you raise your hand up that you are the issues, you make some, a rough start. Like because how do you say that when you do athletics? You say something the bad start. Sometimes you got to make start a bad start from you want to take a race. You always go back and readjust yourself and see what can we do better to put in. It's a good thing. Even a small leadership has to do that. Go back into the boardroom and decide what can we do to fix things. There's nothing wrong when you made a mistake. This is what we want to admit here. It's unexpected. And I can't say unexpected because let's hold one thing. President is just the president. He oversees a lot of things. People that are around him, I said it earlier today, people that are around him may not have an idea what they're talking about. Too many young ministers, maybe young number age, experience-wise, running our country. They are running these proper ministerial positions. They may not be experienced how to handle those things. You're going to do tasks to run. It becomes an issue. So the president has to go, but look, let's sit down and rearrange things and see how we can move on. And I will take you back to George Weah as an example. Yeah, these tough things. And what is happening right now, a lot of things are happening in the country, going the way world. And people complain everywhere, asking him to sack ministers and do this thing. He was not listening. Exactly what happened to Liberia, but the people remain calm until wait for elections to vote him out. It's just what really is happening right now in Kenya. When the youth think like some ministers are unqualified, they're not doing a job, it's asking the president to sack them, to relieve them of their post and give it to the qualified for the other country. He's not listening. And now Kenya is in chaos at the moment. So the president is thinking it's been fast-sighted. Go back to the room. Guys, what we came with was not the right thing. Let's rethink. They go back to the boardroom and change the plan and to the right direction. What we could do here and wish them well. So whatever, look, Liberia is beyond every one of us. What should we then wish for them now is get off, since it's a rocky start, get off properly, put on the nice thing so you can have a nice landing gear on when you're coming down. And we are looking. And the good thing is, one of the reports said, I'm sorry for taking time. One of the newspaper, the article said that he wanted critics to be patient with him. The good thing about Liberia right now, there are too many oppositions, and that make the president to be sensible and look over his shoulders. This is what they need to do. People need to be there telling Mr. President not doing it right. you're not doing it right. So you should know you should do it right. So because he got too many oppositions and are criticizing him constructively, if they are, you should be able to think, well, these guys are saying to right. Let's go by rearrange our arrest journal to AAID. And so let's reach them well so they can come something good for the Liberian people to benefit from it.
Right. So thank you, Jamal. Thanks the other two panelists. Let me add my own 1 cent to this. So the Unity Party lied to the country that they came to rescue this country. Because if you knew from day one you're going to rescue the country, from January 22nd, all of these things should have been in place. So at least they came out say his critics and those who. So I would say they lied to the country. I think the president should be man up to say, look, we just wanted power, we lied to you. This is now we're going to start the ball rolling from going forward for the next 5.5 years. So let's move to the next segment, Jamal. What we have? Please recognize some of our viewers before we move to the next segment, please.
Let me see.
Muted. Yeah.
Okay. We have a couple of people that are streaming in right now, watching us, wherever you're watching or listening to or following us. Thank you for joining us. We may not have the time to read all your comments and your. I know some of you out there they don't have the opportunity to drop in your comments or call in, but we will take some comments from the viewers that are in. First, we're looking at Douglas Yankendo. Sorry if I mispronounced it. Pelo.
Douglas Pelo.
Yeah, sorry if I mispronounced your name. My apologies. Rocky took over. The president was talking about the bad situation in the country was in when they took over. He also said again, Rocky stepped over. The president was trying to repeat himself. So I'm looking at another Jesse Farmer, another one of the regular followers here. He said the president declared that he knew the problems of Liberia. They were not prepared to run the government. Example is the Access Recovery Commission. So this is what Jesse is saying. Jesse Farmer is saying that the president just came up and makes these are all political gimmicks. They were not ready. So I know Spencer too said, if I get your name right, Spencer said, I'm looking for your YouTube video. I don't use Facebook. Okay. We'll send you the link and you can go on if you like, just go on to the Google and tap in button on Liberia. You have our YouTube coming live on you. We also have our apps as well. And you can also download our app. You can get our YouTube from there. You can also catch up from that side. I think that's from my end. I have another statement from Douglas as well. He said the pro agenda for inclusive development. Arrest agenda for inclusive development. Inclusive development is not the agenda. So what is the agenda? So that's a few I'm looking at for right now, guys. Afro King is one of our. He's one of our host panelists here. He's actually away for some family reasons. So he said, "I'm following you guys from somewhere." Great job, Kakoli. Thank you very much for organizing that. He's going to be away from us. That's link for the Afro King going to be away for some time because of some family commitment. But I know he's going to get back. We wish him well wherever he is, and good luck with it. And now, you said, these are some of the comments from our viewers that are following us right now. And you are following us from Jala TV, wherever, Liberia, Africa, Asia, America, Europe. Thanks for joining us. Follow us. And please subscribe and like our button. So anytime we come on, you can always get our attention. So we can also, we'd love to have your saying. Please drop in. We have our brother from USA, Mr. Abamo. He's here with us, always one of the regular hosts right now. And also our big man himself, Francis Mensa, who is also from Sweden. Paul, the Lord, the friend of the King, is also here. So we're all here to share Liberia. Liberia is our is our hope, is our passion. This is why we discuss Liberia. So don't take anything personal. So drop your comments. Let's discuss Liberia. Thank you.
Let's discuss Liberia. We'll ask you to kindly share the show on your video platform as well. Help us to increase the number here. Our number, we don't buy numbers. So after the show, most time when our view go back, we get about over 600, 1,000 people following. So just help to share the show. Friends, you want to say something?
Yes, actually, I think we'll have a calling session. Mr. Funk, Mr. Pillow wants to contribute. He wants to say something, so he's gonna call me, and I'll.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah,
that's
and
good.
I have it on there.
So
Okay.
you're also going to drop your number to him to call you then?
Yes,
That'd be-
we live in the same country anyway.
Okay.
All right. I was okay. Tell you the call, so we'll put you in through. Let us know when your call comes through.
Yeah.
Okay. So what's next, Jamal?
Next, the president was in the hospital. She said, give some goodies to the baby mamas.
Huh. Interesting story. Now, that story, I don't know, Francie, if you read this story. It was the president made a visit yesterday at the Japanese Maternity Center at JFK, and there's some, I think, innovation or renovation that took place. He went to inspect the place, and he donated some of the goodies to the baby moms over there. It was most of the pregnant, newly born babies and their moms were happy to receive the president yesterday. Take us through on this, and then we'll have everybody chime in. Francis.
Yes, the president he went on he went on a visit to inspect the facility that was ongoing renovation, and he did it in two folds. He went to he and his wife. Actually, he went with his wife, Madame Katumo Boyka. She was with him, and they had these assorted items and to give to the baby mothers. He's the president, so they were raining praises on him. So yeah. I mean, for me, I don't think this newspaper worth it. I mean, I don't think. I mean, it shouldn't be a news story. These. I mean, he's president. His friends and his wife reaching out, giving hands. I mean, we have more pressing issues in the country than this thing to be. A newspaper headlines. It's good to talk about it, but I don't think it's a major. It should be a major issue. What for me is the facility, the infrastructure, and the work that has been done there. But what the lady, the acting director of the medical center, her name is this Yekesin something. I think that was the late Dr. Stephen Yekesin's daughter. So yeah, I think they are doing a very a wonderful job with the building, the renovation. Yeah, so that's it. And the mothers were happy. I didn't know he just getting tops. I didn't know if he paid or he and his wife paid for the medical bills. That would be more and more, exciting news for me. But then to give, going to get some plastic tops and stuff. No, I mean we accept. I mean it's helpful, but they should let us know. I mean, pay the medical bills and get the ladies out because this last story that I heard in George Vietnam, most of these people were in the hospital for months because they couldn't pay their bills. I think somebody had to go there and bail them out, help them pay their bills. So for me, this I don't think it's newsworthy to be in the newspaper.
Jamal?
No, I will give to you Mr. Albert. Want to come in? I will be the last on this.
Okay, let me come in there quickly. First, I hope the president functional agenda being declared or pronounced to the public. I hope he will have the guided people to help the administration because we see a lot of wrongs. First of all, Sylvester Grace, which will be one of Liberia most experienced serving statement. I do not know actually what he does at the Ministry of Presidential Affairs. First of all, they should not let the president to carry plastic tops for babies at the hospital as a donation from the president. The president does not need to make personal donation to government facility. He is the head of the government of Liberia. So it makes no political sense. Oh God, what it mean? Are you hearing me?
Very loud and
Oh,
clear.
okay, I'm back. It makes no political sense for them to have directed the president or have given him advice to go and do that. We all know from tradition the first lady, if things were made, a donation was made to the first lady office, it is the first lady that solicits on behalf of Liberian children to keep the society active and hopeful from president to president. That's what I do know in the Liberian political setting. So if the first lady was over there, I think it was advisable for it to have been a donation from the first lady and not from the president. President have the agenda to arrest. If you got, we look for it to define. I think the arrest when they're using the word, the A was for agriculture, the R was for reconstruction, the E was for education, the S was for security, and the T was for
there are 2 hours. They have rules. 2 hours.
Okay, road.
Was agricultural.
Okay, one was for road reconstruction.
Road,
Sanitation.
sanitation.
No, they didn't have sanitation.
Yeah,
They asked for sanitation, right?
And
Okay.
tourism.
And tourism.
Tourism, I thought about transportation. Okay, because they have road already. Okay. If you have this defined politically, socially, you all know why it's inclusive in there. But for you to just come back to mislead the president, go over there, yeah, because the few days, everybody putting muff on you for the yellow machine, so be doing something that the public gains some respect for you. So, Mr. President, you carry the tops to the hospital. That is worse politically to do that. The first lady should have gone over there without the president to present anything as a woman, but not for the president to carry it up. When the president reviewed, he had 10 that were reviewing the Liberian budget presented to him. They had 80 million. They had 80 million for help. 80 million, $501,200. That's what they have for help. They had $80 million there. So those who are advising on the national budget, they knew that 80 million was something that would boost the health sector to some level. Now the president cannot be taking whether that his personal money, whether those things were donated to the first lady office, and they had decided to carry the president because he's being mobbed a few days by the yellow machine to carry him over there, and even watching the condition. They should have not advising. It was wrong. It should have come from the hand of the first lady and not from the president.
Not from the president. What say you, Jamal?
You know, that's why it's good to have somebody like Mr. Moa here to tell us what he thinks. He's been around the political corridors and the government in Liberia, so you know how the political culture looks like in Liberia, Paul. And I do understand that we need some good gestures to come from the president, but it should be done through the proper channel. It's like one is done at the Japanese maternity hospital in Monrovia in JFK, or the Redemption Hospital is there. April 14 or 14 military hospital is also there. They always need help. They also go to type the Jassy Abdul Hospital, Jassy FK Hospital also as well, interpreter. All these need help. They need to boost what I was expecting from the president. Those things, why the first lady was giving this game in our own name, why he stay on the side. Should be telling us, like, what are the plan they have. The president used these occasions to make remark about the situation of the country, where journalists will catch you off guard. I want to see every district in Liberia have their own primary healthcare center, where it can be used as a referral to the main hospital.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It should be a referral hospital, referral center, where let's say we have 17 districts We have 17 districts in Monrovia. Each of those should have a center where cases like malaria, those minor cases, can be treated before you put. Then the pressure is not on the government hospital. Oh, Paul, there was a couple of times before the government came to power, a lot of bodies at the corpses or the hospital were thrown away. They have to dispose them because people could not come and clean them. They couldn't afford to get the body. You know how we respect the people that our people that died. People leave. Let them tell you, bro, at JFK or major hospitals. Your relative died, they turn their back, they don't show up anymore. They can't even afford to go clean those bodies. They don't have the money. And just to get the money. So the government should be putting more money to actually subsidize to the highest where our people have medical care. Medicare delivery for our people should be the highest. The highest priority. That should be priority number one. How many people are dying of these common conditions that should be treated or prevented? You have major hospitals like that's the reason you have too many of these private clinics springing up in Monrovia and around Liberia, because the government hospitals and government run for service centers are not doing a proper job. So what will happen there? Those medical practitioners will go open their own clinics at home and take the medications or deal with other pharmacy to treat staff, patient people. So government need to look into prioritizing health as a priority number one. Because if you look at the arrest agenda, there's nothing like healthcare. Just sanitation, that's what I see. Healthcare is not there. And he just spoke in his interview that why people going to other countries for medical care when we need one. JFK, Mr. Moore can attest to here. JFK was in the region, in the ECOWAS region, one of the best, where people come from everywhere for refer to receive medication treatment. JFK. I went to JFK. I was at TNIMA as a PA, Pigeon assistant. I was there last year before the war came. I knew that we got a lot of people from outside Liberia, foreign countries who are coming to JFK for treatment. So we know what's happening. Now, JFK is one of the JF dumb. Nobody cares anymore. So the government need to readdress the AAID to put healthcare in as a priority number one. Healthcare delivery in Liberia should be a priority, Paul. Giving these gifts or gestures, it doesn't mean like it's a political gestures, it's a misstep. So you should think about it and see who advancing him. I think they're doing it wrong.
So, but Jamal, don't you think since they're going to recraft their agenda, don't you think they will put healthcare in there as one of the key priorities? Because
this is what we are saying right here. This is what we are saying, Paul. Most of us, my mother and many other people I knew, she couldn't get treatment at GF for some reason when she fell out because she had some conditions that will come out healthcare problem. And it could be prevented. You have been going to the hospital. I mean, hundreds of Liberians having the same situation. If you don't have the funds to travel abroad to have medical treatment, you just dead.
Right.
So what are we thinking that we are saying these things here? I hope they are listening, that they could also give attention to primary health care, number one. And that's why I just suggested I was saying on this platform that every quarter should have a government equipped run health center, where then from there you can have a referral to the main hospital like the JFK and also Redemption Hospital and other hospitals like why is it that Catholic hospitals and Cuba clinics are getting better and people are turning to them? Because government hospital can turn their back on it because it's not being equipped, no medication. Even the medicine that is saying that malaria treatment should be free, people still pay for it. They take these out to sell to their various clinics at various homes. So JFK should be a priority number. Not only JFK, healthcare delivery in Liberia should be priority number one, Paul. In that agenda, whatever agenda they're crafting.
Right. Let me add my piece of thought on this. You know, there were 4 major parties in Liberia that ran for this current general election. And one of those candidates in the race message was primary health care free for all Liberians. And I was opportune to be part of that group that drafted the policy. So for the sake of Liberia, I will appeal to the president. Go and ask Alexander Cummings for that healthcare document. Is there crafted, is ready to run and go? Is there primary health care? Is there that mothers, people that suffer from diabetes, how they call it, malaria, hypertension, all this, it should be free for all Liberians. And they wrote a policy that is there, and it also explained where the money was going to come from to pay for those things. For the sake of Liberia, speak to his old friend. How can I get my hands on this document and turn Liberia around? I just want to throw that in there because I think among all of the candidates, he was the one kept talking about primary health care should be free for all Liberians. And that maternity ward was one of the key areas that women die from childbirth, and it should not happen in the 21st century. So I think it's something that he need to ask his friend for the policy. It will help the country. There's no big deal in it. Maybe friends say, Albert, Jima, 1 minute on each, and then we'll move to the next segment.
Yeah, just to, I think I'll follow Councilor Tewon Gonglo during the campaign. I did not follow comments, so I didn't know about her. The veteran lawyer and activist saying that in his platform, he said there were going to be a free healthcare for children and women. I heard he said that were times were outnumbered. So I think that it as well go to better state, go to Tewon Gonglo, who had a better rating in elections than Cummings. So that it's a platform and what you call a manifesto. Labrenpo bought his idea, so I think it would be a good thing to go to Councilor Tewon Gonglo. So Gonglo is an ally.
I'm sitting here. I was part of that document I crafted.
I'm not saying it's not true. I'm not saying that's true.
So
I'm saying that I heard Councilor Gonglo, Tewon Gonglo. I didn't say. I didn't follow comments. I'm not saying it's not true.
Yeah, we interviewed Tewon on this platform during the election, and I'll tell you what Cummings said: primary health care should be free for all Liberians, and it was the most thing that killed people in Liberia should not happen in the 21st century. That was clear-cut thing that he said. Now, people die from malaria easily in Liberia. People die from typhoid easily. People have diabetes easily. Just like high blood pressure kill people easily in Liberia. Women die from childbirth easily. So under his thing, it was going to be primary health care for all Liberians. Free. That means you can walk into JFK or walk into Redemption Hospital. You don't have to pay for that malaria. They'll give you malaria pill. It will lay out. And I'm sitting here. My signature is on that document. So I'm proud enough for the work that we've done is there. Omer Barker, can I go to your friend and ask him for his policy? Talking about Cummings came whatever percentage. We all know the election were rigged. It was not the way it meant to be. We all know that. So if we base on it, then we're going nowhere. So the one who came less percent, who ran to a horse, Joseph Nima Baka was the first to run to a horse, George Brown the second to run to a horse, seeking his vote. So now, if the guy will have less percentage, became very important. That's a topic for another day. Jamal Chami and then they'll move to the next segment.
Thank you. Whatever, I think, Paul, what I recommending to them, well, I didn't know better. I'll tell you something. Everybody knows that Liberia we need healthcare delivery the best in the country. That's what make you say isn't happy. And now our people can afford it. How do you put a system in place? If you say it's so easy to say, healthcare delivery system, primary healthcare, it starts from the community, from the villagers, for the village workers, healthcare workers, to midwives, the nurses, and before you get to the white collar, medical practitioners. Yeah. It's a whole process. It takes time to put it in place. But the government is aware that they need it, and they know the process. You don't need to even recommend it to anybody. They know what they can do to solve that problem. The president said before his interview, in his interview with BBC, that healthcare is number one key issue. So we need to remind him that these things this healthcare is very important for Liberia, and it should be priority number one. This is what I want to say. I think we keep singing this song so that our people can have a better healthcare delivery, even free medical care. Like Francis was saying, the children, the under 5, those who have not reached the age of 5, to call it under 5, the elderly. There are certain group of people should pay. We have it in Europe. We are not many. We got the resources that healthcare in Liberia can be free. It can be very free, depending on how you arrange it.
Exactly.
Abuse. But the problem, if we not put a proper structure in place, we're going to have the issue. We're going to be running to Ghana. We're going to go to Morocco. We're going to go into countries that we don't need. We don't even have the funds. So if you got sick, if you got, for instance, prostate cancer, common case in Liberia, very common, and most of our big guys have been dying of these conditions. And it can be treated. So it's a young guy here, a Liberian guy who's trying to put a project together to carry the machine Liberia, where it can be traced, or can be they can have it treated for another 30 years. Right, and they went to Liberia. I just came bringing the information. I went to Liberia to talk to the Ministry of Health. They saw he bring it as a project, and the government fund these things, can bring it as a project to help our people. So you're picking flying to, for those who can afford to fly to Ghana, to Morocco, to India to have these their treatment. It's a common condition among men, black men. It's the highest among black men. Prostrates. When it's at an early stage, it can be treated. But then you need to detect it. How do you do that? You need to have facility in place. Government needs to look at these things. It's a serious issue, and we will looking at it. It's not about diabetes when it's poor. It's a more serious health condition that need to be looked into than diabetes or malaria. So the government need to re-look or redraw the situation of healthcare for Liberia. It's priority. Healthcare, transportations, education, road network. Those are key things. Water sanitations. Those are things we need to look into.
Yeah, Jimmy, just quickly, in terms of healthcare, I think our people, we need to be in the preventive stage. Things, I heard a colleague, friend and brother Paul talk about typhoid and all these more. Look, if you sit at home in Liberia, just about 12 o'clock, if you call the light off and you go back in the kitchen, by 12 minutes, you put the lights on, you see the roaches, the rats all around the place. These things need to be prevented. And these are the sources of all these entire for. Look, we need to have the sanity. What you call it? What do you call it? Before the war, we had those. Before the war, we had it in my house. We used to spray around the pump that every weekend to prevent all those things from coming around. The rats, the roaches, and all that stuff. People need to take care of the surroundings first. You have to see rats and all roaches. You don't see them.
But Francis, isn't that the thing Unity Party ran up because the country went so bad they needed to rescue? Isn't that should be part of the rescue?
Sanitation is there.
Paul, don't rub this thing in. Let's look at it from a perspective.
Don't took it from
So sanitation is part of it. That way, cause sanitation is.
First, they want to bring out to where the situation more than what arrest is bringing. You just saw it right now. They're struggling to redirect their wheels. We need to be realistic.
Sorry, Jemma, I agree that a lot.
We need to be realistic. Forget about the government right now. People are dying. Those guys in government had the funds to travel abroad to get medication, to get treatment. They can go to India, Pakistan, Morocco, Ghana, wherever they want to go. You can't go. Your poor mom and relatives are back home. They got all the conditions. They can't travel. Right. So coming quickly. Wait, just the brother just said something regarding to prevention. Healthcare, primary healthcare includes all those ones. From villages to the clinics. Prevention, the government put more money into prevention than even curative, because they have to prevent it before you get there. Before you get there, then you have to be your surrounding hygiene, and this key thing. Environmental science, TNMA is one of the paramedical schools in Liberia got the environmental science, where they have to talk about. They teach for I think 3 or 4 years, where it's taught in our school to teach you how to do preventions and look at those statistics in terms of hygiene and stuff like that. And there are a lot of them where they have no jobs. So you put more money into prevention before you worry about treating somebody. So the government knows all the strategy, but they just don't care. That's the fact. They don't care.
They just don't care. So I will just come in 1 minute. We know. Let me just put in this one, and I just want to summarize it. JFK, Redemption Hospital, all the hospitals in Liberia struggle. We got ministers that ride $80,000 car. We got senators that ride no less than $45,000 cars. All the money going into cars. Now we got the president going to the hospital, carrying plastic buckets and blankets for baby. Summarize the whole thing and move to the next one. Come hour.
Yes, I don't know when the new program said inclusive. I don't know whether it's political inclusion or it's a holistic development that the government have a program now that it will be inclusive for everything, or is politically stated to bring in other people into the national program so they can put all the national ideas together. Now, looking at something like primary health, how do you come to say the whole country will easily, everyone can go to the hospital, even at the point when you don't have any money? How do you do it? For example, I don't know, Paul, when you notice, when we started in the Soviet Union, we noticed there was something being an economist while watching. All the apartments, there were no, how do you call it, no meter to the water.
Yeah.
If they put meter to the water, probably will be factory. But guess what? How the water is paid for? Anyone that works,
You
pay water tax.
Yeah.
So you see it? That was the reason nobody, no meter was attached to any apartment. The reason for that in Liberia, let's say your house is in West Point, let me put it that way. And you put fence around your yard, your water, you pay for it, everything you get there. You got your yard ball, you got your, your standard family, maybe your children living with you or your nephews and nieces living with you. By the time you leave that house, 2-3 person coming with bucket. Oh, John, Papa gone. Please, you bring your 2 bucket of water here, my son, I beg you. And everybody will be begging that whole day, and they'll be giving them water. We'll be giving them water, unknowing to you. The day you notice it, then you become a bad man in that community.
Yeah.
Now you tell me, if you are in national government or you live in Monrovia, you are work 40 years experiencing all of these things. If you have a government, what will I do? Everybody will pay water tax. Everybody will pay health tax, so that when you are involved in an emergency service, every emergency service, whether it's a private or government hospital, you will be treated. That bill will go to that central account. In the United States, with health is very expensive, but when it comes to that emergency, you will not be refused. No hospital will refuse. They will treat you, and they will send that request. I think Liberia has enough educated people. They need to put a program together. It will be clear. So when they use that word inclusive, I don't know, they're going to call other wise people to incorporate whatever ideas they have.
For the sake of Mama Liberia. Yes.
Yeah, or only to give people job politically and say that in government or inclusion, I don't know. So right. They got to come up more clearer. I know it was a rough learning, but it is our country. We hold it, and we got to speak and stick to the truth.
And stick to the truth. Right. Yeah. Francis, before we move to the next segment, I got something here I just want to talk about it quickly, so we have a few people watching us here. And I just wanted you to take out this through. Maybe I don't have the intro here, so let me go into this one quickly and just want your take on this. I think it's this one here. No, it's this one here. This one.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, this one here. Talk to us, Francis.
Yes, we got 5 more days. Let's say 6 more days to this grand occasion happening in Wurzburg, Germany, where Liberians across the European spectrum, the European diaspora, will be gathering to commemorate our nation's 177th Independence Day celebration. This is going to be a three-day event, which begins on the 26th to the 28th. On the 26th will be the EFLA AGM, our annual General Assembly, our meeting where we will discuss issues relating to EFLA, the growth, the prospects of our institution, of our association, and then will be climaxed by what we call the all-white party. So on Saturday, which is the formal program, an indoor program, we will have from the beginning of the day, will be a soccer tournament, which is sports and outdoor program for kids. We have Liberian teams from the various countries and various states in Germany will be competing for a trophy. We included football, kickball, and hopscotch, NAFO, you name it. Fast track to the evening hours is the formal program where we're having the red carpet, where people come in 30 minutes before the indoors program, the formal program. We're taking pictures on the red carpet. Then the official program will begin from around 9:30 to 11:30, and then we end and we have the ball from 11:30 to 5 p.m. in 5 a.m. in the morning. So come with your dancing shoes and your easy wear if your feet get tired. So
So that will be held in Germany, and the guys are gearing up now for that. So before Jamal come up, getting to the next one, we have gone over an hour here. Some will have a new information minister in Liberia who is now promoting how do you call it, tourism. But this guy is on the internet doing our information, how do you call it, a cultural affair job. So I just want for you guys to listen to the new information minister that actually talking about tourism in Liberia. Just listen, just for the laugh.
Africa.
Oh yes. Oh my gosh, I thought you were from South Africa. Yeah, I'm from South Africa.
No. I'm from Liberia. I'm from Liberia, the greatest country in the world. Liberia, the greatest country in the world.
Okay. No.
You should visit Liberia.
Is it nice?
You should. Yeah, it's nice. It's nice. Do you know that in Liberia, when a child is born, the government give financial fund to help the family. When they get married in Liberia, they give financial assistance. It's one of the great African countries.
That's nice. That's
yeah,
nice.
It's nice. It's very sweet. Nice country. Nobody's suffering in Liberia. Everybody's enjoying life. You see, right now, I just go through eating. The electricity don't go off in Liberia. The current, we have stable electricity. The country is amazing. It's a nice African country. We have stable electricity. We have beautiful people. We have friendly people. The economy is booming. Everybody's working. Except you don't want to work in Liberia, but there are jobs available.
Is it a what?
Liberia is the greatest country on the surface of this earth. Michael Jackson made a song for Liberian women.
Yo,
it is a country.
I'm sorry, I don't know about that.
Oh,
I'm so confused. I've never heard about it because, like, even.
I have to say, listen to me, right? Listen to me, right?
So this guy really promoting Liberia while we crying. our president donated top. This is a guy going around the world, making Liberia be this place that people now talking about. So I call him the new information minister to promote our country in a way that electricity cannot go. It's one of the greatest countries on the planet Earth. I don't know where you guys about the new information minister.
Well, the information minister speak will be figurative, and at least with you to define or to see where a country that they care for the little one from day one, even for the unborn. So let's look at it and see. I think that what the Halafi here expression seem to be figurative.
Figurative. So there's friends say, I will look at it next one here. In like, oh, they got on the line.
Yeah. 1 minute. Yeah, I'll join you for 1 minute.
Okay. So before Francis, there's another one. You know, in Liberia, comrade, people open churches everywhere, open entertainment. So there's no residential area and all that. People just blast music whenever they feel it. They just ruin your sleep. So this guy in Ethiopia, there's a band in Ethiopia that usually play, and for some reason, this band, the band disturbing the pigeons in the area. So the pigeon decided to take action. Watch this one. So, comrade, I think that pigeon, we need to have it in Liberia to start running after people that can really disturb people. So this is, I just decided to bring this to put some humor into this topic. So the pigeon, and now with this guy, every time they keep disturbing, play music. So every time they start, the pigeon will come, boom.
Yes.
Yeah, you back?
Yeah, I'm back, man. Back. Yeah.
Yeah. So while we're waiting for Jamal, just decided to put some fun in it. There's one other topic we needed to get into before we leave. Is regarding there's a representative from District 3, River G County, that have put out a bill. Jamal, can you put that thing out? Let's look at it. Talk to us.
Liberia news. Scrutiny.
But did we ever have a law, or do we have a law about same-sex marriage for it to be under scrutiny?
I think there's something. If you did read the paper, there's something in the Constitution talk about marriage. It's not specified who to get married to. So it must be, yeah. That's the problem, because if you say marriage, it's not specified saying it's common logic. Common logic say, well, marriage in Liberia by tradition is between man and woman, right? But if you say marriage, it was, if you look at the common penal code, it's not written that married woman, men and women getting married, it's just a marriage. So I think they're trying to be specific here, so to get rid of all those complex, complex situation. So it's a same-sex marriage law under Liberian law. So what they're saying here, the newspaper report saying that the member of the House of Representatives want to go back to review this particular portion of the Constitution that seems to make it as a criminal offense. If you are caught in Liberia, you are sent to jail for life. So that's the story, guys.
That's the story. So the guy they put in the bill forward now for them to debate it and come up with a law. And this guy from River G County District 3, he's the one submitting this bill that they go after homosexual act. You be prosecuted in Liberia.
Sexual act.
Yeah.
It's an anti-homosexual act, yeah.
Yeah.
So anybody caught doing this thing in Liberia. So we're looking at it like Is there something like, is there a trampling on the rights of people who want to get married to same sex, or is it something not African values? Are they too? Are they going too much far? With these making it to go to jail for life. So this is, I think, we're bringing the thing. So I want to discuss. Probably people saying, "Why are you bringing this up here?" The reason is like with society we live in now, you can't avoid discussing these things because it's with us. So it's always good that we discuss it and be clear on this. It says an African thing. We say it's an African thing, but it's been practiced in Africa. So people are saying that, well, it's too far-fetched. I mean, talking about, why were you talk about same-sex marriage was not even part of our thing? Well, where it's been practiced. I grew up in Liberia seeing this thing happening. Most of our top government officials were involved in it. It was not even hidden. It was an open secret. We know that. And many people were involved in it. So they want to legalize it. So the government, some people in the house want to come as they use it as and they want to come up with anti-law against it. If you are caught doing this, you go to jail for your life, for a lifetime.
Yeah, that's true. You don't see nothing happening in Ghana in January. The Ghanaian parliament did pass a really drastic law on the same issue here. And I think if you are caught, you go to prison, if I'm not mistaken, for over 30 years. So this is, I think, the African, because the Westerners want to force African to sign something that they can put pressure on you and it become binding in your country. And country like Liberia, where we always ask for hand out, we don't do things on our own, pressure could be on country like Liberia. So these are the reason why I think the lawmakers using their own common sense to say, look, let's do something here before they push up it in our throat. So I want you guys to look at this. What you got think 2 minutes, and then we move on.
Good. Can I come in?
Yeah, come in, Al.
Okay. Sometimes I notice in Liberia, we do not study the history of our sciences. So now we make decisions just off the table. So that issue must be studied hard. The historicity of the same-sex marriage, why it came about, and how it has affected societies in which those things are practiced. And what do they want? Who are the victims? So we can know. Why? It is good for someone from country like River G to bring it up so they can stop it immediately. But it need to be studied hard so it can be stopped, because the victims of these kind of system in society are the very poor people at the bottom. Are the very poor people at the bottom of society. Because what will be happening? Yes, Liberia will pass a law and we'll be laughing at people on the street, but guess what? The people who want to enjoy it from the Western world will be coming to the poor villages and be collecting our nephews, our sons, and buying them to bring them to their country to use them as sexual instrument. And when they're done with them, they throw them away. They throw them away like a rag. So the issue of it being in existence, it could be relatively true, but it was not a welcome idea in any community. Some of the time we say, yeah, like, oh, they made a fail, the other made a fail. But the result of that, who were those being affected were the very grassroots people's children. So our country is too poor to accept and implement such a law, because the money people, they will make sure the children are safe and they wage a war on the grassroots children.
Okay.
Yeah, so we have to make sure that it doesn't work in Liberia because it's a disaster.
It's not stuff.
It is a disaster. It was somewhere near close from Mississippi. I will tell you more what I do see here. And no kind of law affect. But we on international now. So
International
one
law.
day,
Francis?
yeah, we'll meet.
Yeah.
Look, trying to legislate a law specifically in relations to same-sex marriage is good. But the penalties that are related to that, we should consider it. I don't know, because Liberia, for now, as a country, has its partners and friends who endorse this act, this I want to say devilish act, but they endorse it, and it will be a lot of crowds from the international community. We know countries like Uganda who have passed draconian laws and measures on that. Iran, in Arab countries, as a matter of fact, and our neighboring Arab country like Ghana, is not neighboring country, but no, a country like Ghana. But I mean, I don't want to waste my time on this. I mean, it's according to Bible, it's gonna abomination or whatever it is.
Yeah.
I mean, we shouldn't. I mean, the government they should pass a law, that that will punish people or that may deter people. But again, I mean, there are a lot. This is a complex thing. I mean, people, human rights, or maybe people, other people from looking at it from a scientific backdrop to say that people have the feeling they have the right. So yeah, but Liberia as a country, we should take a stand, and I think they should do that. Pass a law that will prohibit people from marrying. Same-sex marriage in Liberia. It's not part of our culture, not in our DNA. I think we should not. So I don't want to waste my time on it. It's a no for me. So, yeah.
Thank you, Francis. Jabal, anything we go?
Yeah, this is
Just
something.
3 minutes before we go. What you say before?
Quickly on the same topic. You see, the thing about it, gentlemen, like Mr. Morris said, we are very poor, and eventually we'll be forced to, take these decisions. I think I remember sometime on the leadership, Madam Ellen Salif, these things were brought to the House to add as a law. Somebody proposed, I don't know which of the member in the House proposed that if you have it as a law and they say gay marriage and stuff like that, but it did not work. It did not work. By the time Obama was in office, and these things were being brought to Liberians to take in. We could say a lot of things about it today, but it could be their arms could be twisted to force them to take this into law. If money envelopes change hands in that place, so you hear a different story. So we hope that they will make the right decision. Like what they don't accept polygamy in the West. I think we should be able to accept these things. I mean, who want to do it? It's up to you to do what you want to do. I mean, we, like Mr. Moore said, we are in different land. We got to be careful how we made a statement. We'll be very careful how we made a statement. It's very true. I do understand. I do agree. They have the right to be who they want to be, but in our setting as Liberian, this should be unacceptable on our culture, and it is how we should stand. But you have a right to be who you want to be. I don't think we're arguing that here. We're arguing about the country as a country. That's our point we need to stress here. So I hope that our lawmakers will not be convinced to get into signing this into law, because once you take this, they're going to withhold a lot of support that comes to the country. When that comes to leadership that are up there, the Western leadership will say, okay, because you don't support gay rights, LGBTQ rights, we can't give you the money, we can't give you that. So you'll be stranded or strangulated politically or financially. So eventually your arms will be twisted. And Ghana, like other African countries, they can live on their own a lot of things, and we stay struggling. So I don't know why this is coming to. It may even go. It may not even here. According to the newspaper story, the committee on gender health and judiciary were being tasked to review this and get back to them. It's a chapter 14, subchapter D of the anti-homosexuality law of Liberia for 2024. They want to bring that in as a law. So we hope that they will make a right decision for our country. And yeah, it's going to be difficult for us, but I hope they will make the right decision.
Right.
Yes. Paul.
You make the right decision. We've been here 1 hour, 30 minutes now. We're going to close us. So anything else before we go?
I think that was it because I was away. I don't think I have anything we should go through now. Except this bringing the language into schools again. Did you really talk about that, guys?
No, we didn't. We need to bring it out and have that close on it. Yeah, bring it up.
Okay. This is a kind of a important story. It came from one of the newspaper, New Republic. It was about Dan, or commonly known as Gil, commonly known as Dan, or Dan known as Gil. It's taught in schools in Nimba County. So it was something. I think this is not strange in Liberia, where language is being taught in school. Our local language is being taught in school. I remember when I was attending Bangor Methodist in the 80s. We were taught Pele. I think we had a Pele professor, one Mr. Barkley. And I think I don't know what other part of Liberia, whether Bass has been taught in Riverside and other places. But then they bring it back again. And whether it's something good or is it completely divisive, I don't know. Because other people in the country will say because they're minority, why their language is not being taught in schools. So I don't know how this is a good thing that it attracts us to talk about. If you look at other counties, there are other minority groups, tribes in other counties. So is this a conditions like if you are in majority, so your language will be taught in school, or your dialect will be taught in schools, anything, any of the life, apart from VAR, if I'm stand to be correct, I stand to be corrected. Is I think VAR was the first written Liberian language, and it was taught in schools. And I don't know how other languages have been written. If it's Roman, if it's Arabic letters or a Greek language, I don't know. But you guys tell me. I'm the youngest one, and so far. Tell me about the cultural thing, language in schools. I'll hope to learn a lot from you guys.
So let me go first on this one here, because before you got chime in, I see it from a different perspective. Now, we are not patriotic enough in Liberia, like people in Ghana that force one language on everyone. If they want to do this in Liberia, I was in the USSR, I was in Kiev, but then everyone spoke Russian. But when the de-integration of the Soviet Union, what happened? The focus were on those 5-year-old kids. All of them started speaking the Ukrainian language. By the time they got the age of 15, the whole nation could speak the language. So if you want to introduce something like this in Liberia, why don't you pick something that is the most common language to speak, whether it's Pele or Bassa, that they can make it a national thing for the little ones that are born today, learn how to speak it. In the next 10, 15 years, everyone speak the same language. That's how I would look at it. Maybe I will have more on this. That's my take on this.
So you think Pele and Bassa are easier to speak?
One of them will be easy. So which one that is easier? Even if it's hard, if you start teaching it to kids, 5-year-old kids in school, by the time they reach 10 years old, they start speaking it. Children pick up quicker. We the older folks will just forget about us, but those kids, then in the next 20 years, the whole nation speak one language.
All right.
You want me to say something about it?
I think Mr. Apple should be the last on this because
all right, Frank, say you come in now with me. I will last.
I mean, look, having a national language, I don't know, it's late, or I mean, that's something the country can start, so we can have one thing in common. We all have Liberia as as a common denominator, but we need a national language. And where we get outside there, if the people from Kenya can speak Swahili or each other, The people from Guinea, they speak Mandingo. The people from Mali speak the Mandingo as well, or something else. So you know, people from Uganda, they have different tribes, but they have a national language. I don't think it's late, you know, but we need to have a particular. We need to have a probably general consensus, a referendum on it. Because Torbert wanted to bring in Pele as a national language at the time, you know, but it didn't go through. But he was very stern and strict on that. That you know that it was going to be part of our curriculum, it would be taught in school. Pele is widely spoken, so I think it should be a policies that the government has to craft. You know, with all stakeholders, civil society groups, and you know, and then the rest of the groups, or you know. So I think, yeah, you know, Gio in Nima County is in Nima, so I guess yeah. But again, they have other tribes in Nima. They have Mandingos, they have Mano, they have other people, other tribes in you know, it won't be. I don't think it's a good thing to do. You know, is you know to be taught across the board. If it was in a village in Nima, in a Geo speaking territory, fine, they can do that. Yeah, so that's my take on that.
Coming more?
Yes. Well, speaking of languages is historically important. It has a historical nature. It has scientific nature. Like when we studied in the Soviet Union, what I heard, the Russian language was used in many areas because it was the first language that science was developed in that area of the world, from the Greek to the Russian. Are we understanding this? But what it did to every republic, the people of that republic has their national language. The people have the national language, rather, and they were free to make their choice to speak it and learn it and develop their science in it. So everywhere in the Soviet Union, when you're in the Ukraine, why it's true that the Russian language was there, but the Ukrainian language was as well as developed in the sciences. So you get an equipment and you will read in the Ukrainian language, or the teacher in the sciences, in the medical school, in the mechanical area. So all over. So they said the Russian language was used for business transaction. So the official languages of the Soviet Union was the national language of a republic. That's how they play the politics at the time. So no language was described as official. The official language of a republic is a national language. In the Ukraine, it was a Ukrainian. If you went to Russia, it was a Russian language.
Yeah.
If you went to the other places where the Asian European section, the Azerbaijan, they spoke their language. Now, in Liberia, they use the word, another word being late, but they're considered late to be part of it. Thank God that the language English was enforced on all of us. It make it easier and make it safer, because it is a language in which the sciences that we begin to read about in Liberia was written and started. So it was imposed, it was brought with our quick, subtle leadership. So it spread and imposed on the nation until it became our national language. It became one of our national languages. It became, we use the word official in Liberia, but the business language, let's put it that way, whether official or business, but it's the same. So it will be good to maintain that because we are not developed the senses in any of our languages. If we are doing that, let's say the Basonian that cover most of the land of the country from Bombing Hill to Sando border, let's say the Bassa people have written the languages in the medical field. When your head hurt, how they call it in Bassa. When a sickness is on your knee, how they call it. All of these things we are knowing it in the science. Then you say, okay, easier. But all the languages, the science were not developed.
But
Everything.
Comrade,
Yes.
let's compare this to Ghana. Ghana official language is English from the colonial master. But
Yes.
all Ghanaians now, they speak Twi. It's almost like Kenya and other places like Tanzania, they speak Swahili, but their official language is the. So how do you compare that?
If you go into those areas, we get here from outside, but we go there, there are scientific development of those languages in the national in the sciences. Like if you watch a Nigerian, they show some, they make some video.
Yeah.
I know you watch it. The professor will be explaining in English, and he will say we call it one in Igbo. You've been watching it, right? So they have been developing it. But the good thing about it, to learn languages, if your senses are developing it, they become useful for economic reason. But if not, you cannot impose the language of other group within society on the whole society, because then the issue of superiority, imperialistic concept will develop that they are superior and blah 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 blah. We don't want that in Liberia. But what can happen, like the Soviet Union, if you are in Basel land and you want those schools there, if you have the Basel language teachers and this and that, you can use it there. Who want to learn it, they learn it. So if you're in Nima and they got two major languages there, if they go to concession and say, okay, the local languages will be taught in the school, then they open it to all. If I went to school, I want to learn Mandingo, I will choose it. If I want to learn the Mana, let me choose it. Right. If I want to learn the Dan, let me choose it. But we should not conclude nationally to say, look, since people say, what they used to say, like, the Pere was the largest group of people in Liberia. But you know, when Allah came to show up during the war, it came to a point that the people, they say, okay, the whole we would kill all the Bassa people because they're too plenty in their country. So when the rebel said that, nobody could travel anywhere. Because what happened, you see the Bassonian occupy most of the land on the sea coast, our major city of development. Our Bombing Hill, coming, Monrovia, Firestone, Kakatan, Pere and Basso, Buchanan, and that. So most of the people kept coming to Basso. The Basso, so the guys say, okay, you know what? The Basso people too much in the country here. Then nobody travel. So since English have been common, because when the travel war came, when the war turned to travel, what say some people they couldn't speak any language. He said, no, you give say Anagyo, please. I was born in Morovia, so I know how to speak Basso. I know how to speak Pere. And they let you go. So we are experiencing a war culture. And the reason for language is what you use the language for nationally. Do we have we have develop inside that when I go to hospital or I go to the school, you know why we are meant for if we had a language developed at that time where you and I don't have to suffer with a word quoted from Greek to English, then onto us. Then somebody tell you what is Ecclesiastes. When you hear it, you be thinking what it means, but when you go find the history of that word, what it means, then you say, oh, now how they develop this one here. So it take you to hear it and it take you to understand it. But if our languages are being developed, I was born speaking Bassa and English. But if Bassa are developed in language, sooner you say Jibo, I got Jibo problem. I should know exactly what you're talking about. But we didn't develop it in the sciences. So it become useless.
It become useless. Right.
Yeah.
All right. We've had time to talk about how we'll be nationalists in Liberia. Maybe we'll start developing our language. You never know. So I think people are now putting the proposal forward. That could be a good thing. You never know because,
Yeah.
as you
But
clearly
my
said,
conclusion there, sorry, but my conclusion is every area will be given the right to develop, to teach the language that, let's say, if you went to Sano and there are more than one, the languages that will be taught in the school. So people will make their choice.
yeah,
But not to enforce, because oh, better people plenty, it will be on the whole of Liberia, or Bassa people plenty, it will be on the whole of Liberia. No. Let it be a choice. But the dominant language in your country, let it down. What they started, I hope they will go to a national workshop or symposium to
yeah.
agree that, look, we want our languages to be taught in our local school within Nima County. What we got here? We got a man, we got a down, and we got a Madingo. Whether Madingo people can live in Nima, that's not an issue yet. They are people who move there. The Bassa people move there. Got huge Bassa people in Nima.
Yeah.
Area that Tapet Town, this and that. My descendant from around there. So when you check the population, then you agree that okay, we take down Madingo, Man, and Bassa to be taught here. Or Saint Peter near us, Peter can be taught here. You know, something like that.
Okay. Thank you on that note. So, yeah, we've been here for 1 hour, 47 minutes now. I think we passed our mark. So, it was a good show, gentlemen. I want to hear each of you parting comments so we can wrap up and call it another day. And we'll be back here on Tuesday.
Yeah, I will just go quickly. I will say thank you for the show. Thank you. Thanks to my colleagues for appearing tonight. Before I leave, I just want to re-sound the upcoming event that is scheduled to take place next weekend in Wolfsburg, Germany. If you have not made up your mind to come, it's time. Don't be left behind. This is going to be an epic event. So come, let's celebrate. Let's meet and make some friends and make some memories together. You know, this is all we have. We are not at home in our beloved Liberia. So this is an opportunity for us to meet and embrace each other and celebrate our beloved Liberia. So on that note, I want to thank you all. It was a great show. I hope to see you guys next Tuesday and wish you all a happy and blessed weekend. Stay blessed. Ciao.
Wow, thank you. Comrade Moore.
Okay. One thing I wanted to mention is that the rocket landing is real. Because one of the things the administration of President Bouakai has done when they use the acronym arrest, the word justice was not mentioned. But by the time they took over, the first thing they began with was justice. They began to prosecute. So they really rough landed. It is indeed a rocket landing because they didn't study it. They were not part of the agenda, but they began to implement it at first. Now, so they crumbled along the way. In short, if you add a group seeking national leadership or an organization and you're planning to do something positive for society, you should well plan and give room for argument within your planning. So when you get there, when you say justice will be for all, the how, to, and whom, all of those things must be defined in justice. So when you get there, you know exactly. So to conclude on that, I just want for all to take note and to call on the government to use a sense of inclusion to mean other political leaders, other national leaders to be part of the government. So holistically, they can plan a deserving program for Liberia. Thank you.
Thank you. Jamal? You're muted. Jamal, you're muted.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Just want to say a big thank you to all those who joining us, wherever they are joining us from. We love you to be part of this. And more especially to Mr. Abel Moa, who is taking his out of the busy schedule, as well as our comrade here in Sweden, Francis Mono Mensa, who is also with us every day. Thank you for joining us, and also those who are watching, wherever you're watching us from, you joining us from. Please ask to subscribe. So anytime we come on, sometimes we do an abrupt show at some point. So you'll be part of this. We discuss national issues. We don't dwell in personalities. We discuss national issues because we are here because we talk about Liberia. This I keep saying. Liberia matters to every one of us. It's beyond every one of us. So we ask you to be part of this. Let's hear your comment. Drop in and let's know what you think. If you want to discuss the topic, please drop it. I know my colleagues here and other colleagues that are not here tonight. And also, I want to so remind you that one of our colleagues will be saying goodbye to Bachelorhood by tomorrow. He's Augustus guy told me he wanted to say a big farewell to his Bachelorhood. That will be off tomorrow. You will be saying, I think you'll be saying, I don't know, you'll be walking out tomorrow. So, with this, so on this probably, I want to say a big congratulations in advance. I think on behalf of the Borderline team, we say a big congratulations in advance. And we want you to enjoy your life and prepare a peaceful marriage. And also to all those wherever you join, Liberia, Africa. I keep saying Liberia, Africa, Europe, and America. Thank you very much for joining all our followers. Keep tuning in. This is the Borderline Liberia from mainland Europe, and all those who join from America as well. We don't forget you. Be part of this show. And thank you, Jamal from Manchester. Thank you. Have a pleasant weekend.
Thank you, guys. It was a great show. And on that note, Jamal has summarized the whole thing. So we'll be here next Tuesday, or maybe we could come back before Tuesday to look at when we have some serious issue to discuss. We could come back here before Tuesday. And we'll be looking forward to the trip also in Wurzburg.
That's a good thing. Germany, the person we're talking about, wherever you are, if you're close around here, we just talk about the program in Germany. We will be running it, but next Tuesday we'll be running the special adverts. It's there. It's been produced. The public and press department of the EFLA has produced that in collaboration with the Liberian Association in Germany and Deutschland. They have a beautiful PR for the program. You're going to know what's going on. Football game artists, Liberian artists will be performing, as well as guest speakers, and the General Assembly will be there. So it's going to be a big 3 days event, and we want you to be there. We will be there. We already book our hotels. I mean, we've got a good team coming from Europe. I mean, UK will be there as to be in full swing to make sure we all give our full support to the team in Germany. They're doing a great job. But we say a big thank you for you. The team is headed by Alexander Bella, Agnes Do, Alexander Bella, Christopher. What's the name of the rest of the people?
Yeah, Khalifa Sano, Mr. Christopher.
Yeah, Christopher. Yeah, sorry, Mr. Christopher, Khalifa Sano, Alexander Belek, Agnes Do, as well as the Augustus Garden, Steve Carter as well. All these good jobs. All those who making the job, a beautiful job in Germany. We know what you're doing. We are with you in spirit. We're also going to make more noise about it so we can allow Liberian going to be part of the show in Germany this end of this month. So if you are near here, please make your way to Germany. It's going to be a nice and a good event, extravaganza. You're going to like it. Liberian's going to be there in good spirit. So until on that note, we'll say again, once again, thank you very much for joining us wherever you join us from. More especially to our friends and brothers and family in the US. I know it is a difficult time for you right now. You may be watching our show. We always love to be part of you. And we also expect a huge delegation from Germany, from the US, to be headed by the two good, great men. The president of ULA is Mr. Mohammed Keita, as well as our UK EFLA representative, Mr. Dr. P. Bade, will be also coming from the US. So we'll see you again, and thank you very much.
Mr. Francis Wallo and his wife.
Oh, right.
There's a lot of people coming from the States. Mr. James Rogers from Maryland County, from the state of Maryland. Yeah, I mean, so a lot of people be coming from this.
So a huge delegation be coming from America, USA, as well as other part of Europe and Asia as well. They are booked.
Liberia too, from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the Ministry of State.
The office of the deputy speaker is coming. I also understand that some House of Representatives, members of the House of Representatives will be in. Senator from Bapolu, Honorable Amara Kone, the man with the toy in the flaps of government right now, will be there. So you have any questions for him, please show up. This is now where we're going to sit down and listen to them. If you have questions for them, I mean, this is an opportunity we want Liberians to question their elected leaders and say, look, we got questions, we got some query, and you question them, and they will answer your questions. It will be difficult for Liberia to meet them and discuss with them. This is the time you sit with them, have a coffee with them, and ask them questions from your heart. And this is our opportunity. I think the EFLA is creating an environment where we can sit with our leaders and talk to them, ask them questions, to be able to answer us.
Let me just add the Assistant Minister of Foreign Affairs for International Organizations, Honorable Richmond Pedam Red, will be in attendance. She'll be flying from Cairo, Egypt. She's at a conference, but she took her time to just come back to grace the occasion. So it will be a host of government officials, gracing the event. So thank you again, guys.
So Francis, y'all call all the names, and y'all left the Lord Chilopedic, the friend of King Charles.
I mean, you. Who was thinking?
You guys, man.
Who better to describe yourself? I mean, introduce yourself. I mean, I can't do. I mean, you the chief. I mean, you're gonna say.
We said it already. The hard part of the engagement from the UK will be led by the friends of King Charles. The Lord Chilopedic will be leading the team from UK to be in Wolfsburg.
Timu will be there as well, right?
Brother Frank, let me ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
I know the wonderful gathering of Liberia be so interesting in Germany, but as a team, you people are inviting our leaders from whom? Do you have a package for them to return with? I know you're asking all questions, but if not, can you people make a package to get a, this is how we want to see our nation? Can you people carry and deliberate on it?
Well, definitely. We already have
maybe in agriculture, in health. What made the German nation rich? Because what I learned, like churches in Germany, you don't go to church and carry one thing in your pocket as tithes, and the tithes are cut from all workers.
mean, people say pay tithes in the church, man. I thought you both say go to church and pay tithes, no?
No, they call it for you.
Although
the German government call it and send it to your church.
Yeah, no, although listen, what they do here, I know in Europe, most countries, Germany, Sweden, Norway, Denmark, and Holland, and places like that. What they do is that every year the tax you pay tax to the church, and to you tell them which church, which denomination you belong to. If you're Methodist, they take your money end of the year, or the fiscal year. They take your tax and give it to your denomination, the church belong to. And but you go to church on Sunday, you still pay, offering.
Oh, I thought I call all the tax. Oh, but like tax you can call from your pay. And not the offering.
No.
Yeah. Because my friend,
I think the team have some serious agenda to discuss with the people, and so I know that after this, we were in onto a few months ago, and there was this serious discussion, and now we're going to meet all of these people. It will be put on the table. How Liberians.
To directly answer your question. So I think,
like for example, primary health is a big word. Is economically in nature. When you sing it, the country is opposed, so we can't do that now. But you people present to them the common formula. Everyone that makes money in Liberia must pay tax towards that. For example, they got a Liberian Marketing Association organized in all the major markets in Iran. But I don't know what comes to government. I do not know. That's why the market areas are not developed.
Right.
So they need to learn.
Mr. Topma, I think this out almost we had a meet the Liberian professionals entrepreneurs met in Belgium last May, and we came up with those solutions. And I think this is a continuation of what's going to happen in Germany. The leadership, leadership will present a resolution to the leadership, to the government officials with regard to how they see things to happen in Liberia. We have those packages ready for now only having fun. We got a serious matter to discuss.
Okay, thank you. I know I'm not coming, but we got connection to the leadership. So the delegation from July will bring a package.
We will do. Thank you very much for having you, sir.
Yeah.
So, do you want to wish everybody have a pleasant weekend until we'll take you home with Paul? What do you got for us to take us home?
You take us on, Jamal. I'll say good night to all people.
I have a Liberian songs I like to play. Every time we pay tribute to a Liberian artist. This time I want to play tribute to this guy. This is boy.
Robin.
I don't know. He doesn't want to play. He said, "Yeah, okay." When it once we're good.
Okay.
Boy. If we're pregnant, speak up. Only records, Now you better lick on I tell what you want you to don't can show yourself. Got plenty of dancing, now you dancing, you get copy. I say don't can show yourself. You using Chani, Mr. Chani, I say don't don't can show yourself. You say you young boy, your sling on a papa bob. I say don't can show yourself. You don't get money, you want eat shawarma, eat some pizza, don't can show yourself. I using